Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the brand new 2021 Universal original film, F9, The Fast Saga. This was originally called F9. This is the 9th Fast and Furious film, technically the 10th, because we have Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw, but it is labeled the 9th because Hobbs and Shaw are not in it, but Shaw's in at the end. It's a little confusing. So, this is 2 hours and 23 minutes long. 143 minutes total. This came out June 25th, directed by James Lin? James Wan? Not James Wan. James Lin? I can't remember names today. Justin Lin! Oh my god. Brain is mush. So, this is interesting. We have a new character introduced, Jacob Toretto. Jacob is the younger brother of Dominic Toretto and the older brother of Mia Toretto, so he's like the middle child. Okay, so we get a lot of backstory into 1989 when their dad, Jack, died in the race. We know this, it's talked about many times. We know that Dom beat up a guy with a wrench. He was put in prison for a while. We know this. So we get the actual backstory of 1989. What happened, that Jack was in debt and made an arrangement with Jacob to, like, tweak the engine somehow to, like, throw the race so that way, like, he bet it against himself. That way he can pay off the debts. But, like, they didn't tell Dom about it. And then, like, catastrophe happened. And then, you know, the car exploded and Jack died and Dom was screaming. And then he went to jail. But he blamed Jacob for the death of their father because it was, you know, revealed that, you know, something happened. And the dad was saying, oh, the engine feels off, whatever. So for years, he was never mentioned because he doesn't exist anymore. Despite Dom's whole thing about family, right? There's been thousands of memes, specifically in 2021, about family. So, Brian Toretto, Elena, and Dominic's son, Brian, is now, like, 3, give or take, roughly. And, like, you know, Letty's being the stepmom, and, like, you know, they're originally living on a farm, but then, like, Roman and Tej come, like, unsuspectingly, and, like, do these drills with Brian to have him, you know, hide in a hole, basically. Letty doesn't like that. So the objective is, because Jacob is around now, right? We'll get his backstory that he's worked with Mr. Nobody and the agency for quite some time. This is the same Mr. Nobody and the agency that we know and love from the Fast and Furious Spy Racers series on Netflix. 6 seasons of that. We literally just talked about season 6, wrapping up. And so Jacob steals Cypher out of Mr. Nobody's plane in order to have her decode where the second half of this hexagonal object is, called Ares, because there's 2 parts of this Ares project. One was on that plane, which crashed, which Dom and team collected, right? But it was a trap, basically. And then Cypher finds the other part, and then they need the key, and they're thinking, oh, it's a physical key, but it's not a physical key, it's a person. It's encoded with their DNA, which is interesting, because we literally just talked about that with Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. So it's interesting, the last 2 reviews we did actually coincide with this. Oh, minus Spider-Man, because Spider-Man has really nothing to do with us. Scratch that. Reunions galore from Spider-Man brings us to here. So the last 3 reviews we did coincides with F9. There we go. Okay, we figured it out. So we go from Mexico. We're in Cologne. We're in Edinburgh. We're in London, England, meeting Queenie for a bit. We have a mid-credit scene of Han and Deckard face-to-face. But that's the thing. Han's back from the dead. How is Han back from the dead? Well, Mia and Letty find out this information. Han is with this girl, Elle. It turns out she's the key. That the key to the Ares project is coded into her DNA. Okay. So, Han explains that Mr. Nobody had worked with Giselle for a very long time with the drug ring of Central America. We know this. That was talked about. And so, because Giselle fell in love with Han and trusted Han so much, Mr. Nobody therefore can trust Han to do a job. The job is to get the half of the Ares project in order to, you know, keep it away from these other criminals in Tokyo. So that's where he comes across Elle, because her parents are killed, and then he kind of takes her in as his own. Mr. Nobody fakes the death of Han as a hologram that we see in Tokyo Drift, that we see at the end of Fast and Furious 6. And it, again, all goes back to, everything goes back to Tokyo. Everything. The other beautiful thing is we have Sean, we have Earl, we have Twink, Little Romeo, all in this film working on rocket projects, but then there's like a Tokyo Drift reunion at the end when everybody gets to 1327, the Toretto house, which is being rebuilt because it was exploded from Deckard Shaw. All these things of who betrayed who when comes together. Jacob has a change of heart and then joins Dom's team at the end. Like, it's very interesting, you know, defeating Cypher as well. Again, where's Mr. Nobody? But I loved the Tokyo Drift reunion at the end. Absolutely loved it. Tokyo Drift is my favorite movie out of all of them. It's just the most fun. It's the most energetic. It's the most racing as far as I've noticed. Love it. But the timeline is different because 3 really happens after 6 before 7. And then that's the quest of revenge, you know, things. Getting back at Deckard, but then Deckard has the change of heart and he saves little Brian in the 8th, which we know. It's very soap opera-y. We talk about it all the time. I liked that. I loved that they still haven't killed off Brian. That Paul Walker's character is still alive and well. And that he's just running late, you know, to say grace, you know, at 1327, you know, as everybody is sit down in the backyard before. And then we had the blue skyline come and park in the driveway, gorgeous mid-credit scene. Deckard and Han have a face-to-face. Well, let's see what happens next in the 10th movie. But, like, I love the movie because of the history of Fast and Furious, right? Stemming from the original film. I do. But after just completing season 6 of Fast and Furious Spy Racers, I'm a Fast and Furious fan, right? I've seen them all. I've even seen Better Luck Tomorrow, which is another Justin Lin movie that Earl and Han are literally in. All right, the actor who plays Earl is in it as a different actor, but Han is literally Han in this film. So it's a prequel, basically, to Tokyo Drift, which is technically a sequel to 4, because that's when Han is brought into the picture. Point being is that the plot of this film, the 2-hour and 43-minute long film, could have been summed up in 2 episodes of Fast and Furious Spy Racers, which are 23 minutes long each. So that's 46 minutes of actual plot that was presented to us versus 2 hours and 43 minutes of feature full-length film. I was bored while watching this. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm so glad I was doing other things while watching this because it was boring. Very boring. But I think it was only boring because I've seen so many seasons of Fast and Furious Spy Racers and the plot just goes quick. It's the same universe. It's, you know, Tony Toretto, who is Dom Toretto's younger cousin, doing his thing with his own family, working for the agency who has Miss Nowhere and Mr. Nobody. We know Mr. Nobody is live action. We don't know Miss Nowhere as live action. But, like, the plot of this film could have been summed up in 2 episodes of Fast and Furious Spy Racers. So, like, I don't know, man. Like, I was bored. But then, like, Tej and Roman go to space to blow up a satellite at some given point. Like, I don't know. I feel like I should have liked this a lot more than I did. But I think it's because I've watched 6 seasons of Fast and Furious Spy Racers, you know, recently. That just goes super quick. My attention span is super short. So to have that comparison of the same universe with majority of the same characters, like, I expected more. I mean, I love that Han's back. I love that Tokyo Drift reunion at the end. Absolutely loved it. But, like, and I love Brian pulling up into the driveway in a skyline. Loved it. My beautiful skyline tattoo right here. But I expected more. So we'll see what 10 and 11 bring. I don't know if there's another Hobbs and Shaw coming out. I don't think so. But, like, I love Deckard's character. And Queenie says sons. So remember when we were talking about Hobbs and Shaw and we're like, where the hell is Luke Evans' character of Owen? Because, like, it's not referenced that Owen exists. It's Deckard and his younger sister, but no reference of sons, no reference of Owen, nothing. And then in this one, she specifically says, oh, are you here for my sons? And Dom's like, no, actually, I'm not. I need answers. I need more Hobbs and Shaw films. But the cyborg of Idris Elba was very important in Hobbs and Shaw because it tied into cyborgs that we had in many of the seasons of Fast and Furious Spy Racers. It's all together. It's all one giant spy project, which is funny because the original started out with drag racing cars. I don't have my cars near me. I got my cars scattered through. I got my Fast and Furious Skyline cars scattered throughout. But Yeah, interesting. Let's see what happens next. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.